Coach's Corner with Coach Heck and the infamous Coach Patrick King. Some of the stuff we say.
We're not responsible for our actions.
No,
we're sober.
In essence, and you could tell me to shut the hell up, but in essence, you got chemo face, right?
I got chemo face. When I go to the scores table to talk to Coach, I said, get as many pictures as you can. And it kind of reminded me that the stories you said when you coached the McDonald's game, when you had LeBron say, okay, LeBron signed this because someday it's going to be important.
What did one casket say to the other? Is that you coughing? And you ain't that good. The scouting report said you were pretty good. You ain't that good.
Coach's Corner with Heck and King live at Corby's Irish Pub in South Bend is brought to you by Tony Letcher with Health Markets Insurance, Han Funeral Homes in Mishawaka, Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka, and the Harbor Group Planned Wealth down in Anderson. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment in the chat. And now here's Heck and King.
Yeah, man. You're going through a skin treatment for your face, and you got a little chemo face. But I can't even tell now. I think that the makeup you put on is really cool, and you can't even tell.
Yeah, we'll go with the makeup thing.
Yeah, but so we're just coming off. We're coming off of a really nice little snowstorm, man. About 16 fell last night, and it came down hard and fast. And before you knew it, I was outside just messing around, and snow started coming down. I was at my hot tub trying to do a couple things, and then 2 hours later, there was like 10 inches of snow. And then I woke up this morning and let the dogs out. The dogs took one step and came back in, man.
And disappeared.
Yeah, no, just buried in 16 inches. But I think 16 inches of snow in South Bend is fun. Corby's enough yet? Because
think so.
What a great place Corby's is.
Yeah, and we're now the students are back in town, and we things will be hopping here. Like I said, we got the mayor in here with some of his friends here on their way home from work, and the students will come in here. They're like the next shift, so to speak. So they'll be in about 8:30 or 9, and we get ball games on the television, and life is good.
Hey, Q, you on? Because what about them Bears, man? The Bears. And I know. I was sitting there. Did you watch the game?
I did.
Yeah, Bears.
They did it again, didn't they?
No. Bears Packers. For the third time, they each split a game. They each won the home game, and they're in the playoffs. So the Bears got the number 2 seed in the playoff. The Packers got the number 7 seed. A lot of talk, a lot of smack. Smack talking a little bit. Ben Johnson, the new head coach for the Bears, that has taken the Bears from worst to almost first.
Yeah.
He contends this, and I don't disagree with him. He contends if this is a rivalry, and it never was. It is supposed to have been a rivalry, but it's been one-sided, right?
Yes.
It's been one-sided
Recently.
And when Aaron Rodgers scores a game-winning touchdown against the Bears and is in the end zone and screams out, there's a camera there, and screams out, "I freaking own the Bears. Yeah. I own Chicago."
Right.
But nobody says anything about that. Everybody kind of laughs, because at the time when he said that, true.
Yeah, you couldn't fight back with it.
Yeah, but so Ben Johnson, the head coach of the Bears, doesn't shake Matt LaFleur's hand.
Yeah, what?
Oh no, he just gives him one of these.
Sure,
I mean, just boom, out of here.
Out.
Boom.
Yeah.
And then in the locker room, he's talking to his team, and I don't know, like, when those locker room celebrations started getting filmed, because I always thought that was private time
stuff. Yes,
between you and your team.
Right.
But now they come in and film them, and the first thing he says is "F the Packers." I hate the freaking Packers.
Yeah, and I was wondering, it was those two. They talk about that with the people in the press box and the media, how short their visits are at midfield and everything. Is that something that was previous to him becoming coach, or is that just something that's been created now that he's with the Bears?
Yeah, I think it's in his press conference. He said. He made a comment to Matt LaFleur and the Packers. He said, hey, when I was the offensive coordinator at Detroit, I loved beating them twice. Mm-hmm. I beat them twice every year, and I love beating them twice. Right. And that's my goal here, to beat them twice. Well, it's really not a very good rivalry if it's one-sided. But now the Bears have won a couple games against the Packers. Yeah. Now he's making it a little bit of a rivalry. Now he's saying F the Packers, and he doesn't like the Packers. You know what I say? Good for him. Yeah. I mean, let him escalate the rivalry a little bit, and kind of see where that takes it. And his handshake at midfield was just a drive-by.
Yeah. Well, you and I are getting old now. But
hey!
But what I'm leading up to is there's two generations of people that never had the chance to experience what we did back in the 60s when the Lombardi Hallis days were going on, when the Bears played at Wrigley Field, and sometimes the Packers didn't play at Lambeau, they played at County Stadium.
Yeah, and that's
those were the fun ones.
I mean, the dirty things they did then. And I'd love to have Q jump on here, because Q, I'm sure, has heard about him or didn't witness him or whatever. But I remember Walter Payton getting run out of bounds and dropped on his head 10 yards out of bounds. Mm-hmm. I remember Charles Martin, a defensive end for Green Bay, taking Jim McMahon and body slamming him into the turf and breaking McMahon's shoulder.
Well, back in the days when they had Sayers and Butkus and Ditka on one side, and Nitschke and Bart Starr and Leroy Caffey and all those people on the other side.
You're coming up with some names.
Well, I knew the Packers. I could almost tell you the starting lineup for the Packers in the 60s.
Wow.
When they that's why I wore number 15 in high school, because I thought I was Bart Starr.
Is that why you wore 15 at Butler?
I wore 14 at Butler.
Oh, then that's what happened, right?
Because that's what they gave me.
That's what they gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, going back to that Bears game, I mean, same old, same old. If you're a Bear fan, 21-3 in the first half. Bears looked absolutely lifeless. Green Bay drove the ball at will down the field. Green Bay didn't punt in the first half. They did not punt in the second game at Soldier Field either. And the 49ers didn't punt the week before, the last game of the season. So what I'm trying to get at is the Bears' defense has been pathetic. I mean, no 3-and-outs, not getting off the field. The time of possession was just crazy. It was crazy in favor of both the 49ers and the Packers the first time. That trend continued in the first half.
And I guess this week coming up, I mean, you're previewing this coming weekend's ball games. Is the same thing going to happen this weekend? You just don't know.
Well,
you hope it does.
Well, and I don't, I mean, you and I have been there from a coaching standpoint when our teams have just played awful in the first half. And in my case, I usually tried to get really loud and tried to, excuse me for a second.
That's when sometimes you have to take a technical foul or something to get some people to fire up a little bit.
Yeah, and then at halftime, I was unmerciful on my guys.
Just because they're not playing hard.
Yeah, because we work all week. Our coaches watch film for 20 hours during the week. Our coaches break their butts watching tape and preparing them, and then we go out there in the first half and play like we didn't do anything all week.
You get nothing,
and so you bust them up a little bit. So you wonder if that's what Ben Johnson said to the Bears. Now, from what I read, it's not what he said to them. He said, "Hey," he said, we know what we're doing. We either go out and do it or we stay home.
Right.
Well, and this is kind of deal.
And how many comebacks have they had here?
7, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, by the way.
Yeah. And so 21-3 with the Packers having the ball coming out.
Well, and I had changed the channel. I was starting watching some of the basketball games
You
that were on
freaking traitor.
I'm just saying. I'm a
basketball when it's NFL playoffs.
I don't live and die with the Bears like you do. So I mean, I had the remote.
All right. What team do you live and die with? The Colts?
No, nobody. I can go to sleep and sleep well, no matter what.
You freaking trade! I was gonna bring you a Bear shirt today.
No, don't do that. You're wasting your money,
man.
I mean, I don't even. My blood pressure doesn't really change much when Notre Dame wins or loses for football.
Seriously?
Yeah, I didn't grow up here, so I mean, I didn't grow up with Notre Dame.
Yeah, but you grew up with the Colts, right?
No, believe it or not, I was in Texas when the Colts moved to Indianapolis.
What about the Cowboys?
Well, when I was in Dallas, I probably was as connected to them as I've been to anybody because, we had some of the players that would come out to our school to work out. And some of their kids were coming through our schools. And matter of fact, my little fullback, his last name was Newsom. And his mother was Timmy Newsom's brother's sister. So, yeah, I got to go to some Cowboys games back in the 80s and had pretty decent seats because they liked me for some reason. So
they liked you.
They liked me. Greg Newsom. Matter of fact, he might be listening tonight. Greg down there lives in Mesquite, Texas.
Wow.
Works for as soon as I say Foot Locker, he works for Finish Line. So I can't remember which one's which.
That's amazing. I gotta text my guy Joey Bradburn, the head coach at Mount Vernon, because I forgot. And this is on me.
Yeah.
I forgot he was going to have Luke Earl on tonight and come on our show.
Oh.
But Scott's not producing this show tonight.
Right.
So I don't know if we have an address to have him get on, do we?
I could probably send it to him. I could text. Yeah, we can try it. We can do a copy paste.
Okay. Hold on. What's his? Because I got him right here.
I'll tell you what. Let's do our commercials.
Yes.
And let us regroup here a little bit since I'm doing the commercials here, and we'll come back and see if we can make this work.
Looking to get your driver's license? Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka makes it easy with the Indiana State Driving Exam in-house for just $65. No formal driver's education is required. If you're 16 years and 270 days old, which is like 9 months, and have held an Indiana learner's permit for at least 180 days, which is like 6 months, you're eligible. Frick's provides the vehicle All you need to do is bring a ride to and from the office. The exam only takes about 20 minutes, and you can walk out with your official Indiana driver's license. To schedule, call 574-256-0650 or visit fricksdrivered.com.
Finding private health insurance can be stressful. What if it didn't have to be? I'm Tony Letcher, licensed insurance agent. I prefer to personally meet with my clients so I can get a better understanding of your needs and budget. I can even review your current coverage. I don't want you to be my client today. I want you to be my client forever. Call Tony Letcher today to schedule your free consultation or visit tletcher.com.
Han Funeral Homes, located at 505 West 8th Street in Mishawaka, continues a proud tradition built on one promise of family serving families. With deep roots in the community, Han Funeral Homes offers traditional burial, cremation services, and now pet cremation options, providing compassionate care for every member of the family. Families in Mishawaka have long trusted Hans to guide them with dignity, understanding, and personal attention through life's most difficult moments. For more information, visit them online at hanfuneralhomes.com or call 574-255-1474. Han Funeral Homes, a family serving families. Thinking about retirement, Harbor Group Planned Wealth helps you answer the big questions like when to draw Social Security, how to manage investment risk, and what health insurance might cost. Wondering if you can earn part-time income after 62 without losing benefits, or if retiring could actually feel like getting a raise. They've got answers and a plan to guide you. Call the Harbor Group at 765-393-1074 or visit harborgroup.com. That's harborgroup.com. Back with more Coach's Corner with Heck and King. Thanks as always to the Black Sedan Band for the music coming in and out of these breaks. If you're interested in booking them, they do travel. Head on over to blacksedanband.com and give a special shout out to their drummer, who happens to be Heck's brother. And now, here's more Heck and King.
We are back live at Corby's in the great South Bend, in downtown South Bend, and just a great evening tonight. I want to, talk a couple more things about this Bears game, and then we'll move on. And then obviously the second half, the Bears caught fire, and Caleb Williams does what Caleb Williams does.
Wasn't that exciting?
Yeah, I mean the fourth and eight pass where he was running to his left and literally jumped in the air, completed the pass, was literally amazing to me. And then to score 25 points in the fourth quarter, almost unheard of. But that's been kind of his MO in this second year in the league under Ben Johnson.
Right. And I think a lot of it has to do with Ben Johnson. He's turned him loose. He's figured out what he can do. He's let him play, is what it amounts to. He's playing a lot like he did when he was at Southern Cal. There's so many times they try to take these quarterbacks and turn them into something that they're not yet. And he's not a pocket passer yet. He's a kind of guy, kind of like Pat Mahomes, where he's got to get loose and do some backyard stuff.
Yeah, and he's getting better at it. And in his second year, so this tells you something about the Bears' traditions or records or their lack of quarterback play. He's the all-time leading record holder in yards per year in his second season at like 3,900 and something.
Wow!
But here's a comment I want to throw at you here. One of my friends at Mishawaka, I subbed. I believe maybe Tuesday. As I was walking in, we were talking about the Bear games, and he said, I still can't stand Caleb Williams. And I said, why? And he said, he's a cancer to the team. And I said, do you ever watch the post-game shows for the Bears? And he's a Vikings fan, so obviously he would never have watched the post-game show.
Right.
But on Marquee Sports, after every game, there's a post-game show hosted by some Bears, the old coach Dave Wanstadt, and again a couple commentators. It's about a 90-minute show. So not only do I watch the game, I watch that show, And then I listened to a show on the Score, 670 The Score, which has a couple of old Bear players, former old Bear players, Olin Kreutz and Pat Manley. So I do the gamut. I do the gamut.
Okay.
The thing that stands out to me is how the other teammates on the Bears, how they talk so good about Caleb Williams and what a good teammate he is,
Right.
and how hard he works for the team. And so I mean, that's what I said. I said, you think this guy's cancerous?
Were they saying that last year?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well,
They
I
were
mean,
saying last year.
Was it with the
It's the same
last year?
teammates. The same teammates.
Okay.
What a great teammate he is. How hard of a worker he is. He just wasn't coached last year.
Okay.
But here's my contention, and this is 100% true. We have the great Eric Gaff coming in right now, the head coach at St. Joe. We'll get him in here in a sec. But this is 100% true. If Caleb Williams did not paint his fingernails, would people have that view about him? And just, some other things that went on when he was a senior at Southern Cal. He lost a game. He went up in the stands. He cried to his mother, blah, blah, blah. Would people have that feeling that he's a cancer to the team? Because I want to tell you this. When I was coaching at Anderson, we had a principal, and her daughter came in one day, and her daughter had purple hair. And I thought, and that was kind of before everybody had purple hair or yellow hair or red hair. And I went up to her and I said, so what's the deal with your daughter and purple hair? I was kind of being a wise ass.
Right.
She looked at me and she said, Ron, she said, think of all the things that start with the letter P. Pregnant, prison. She said, all of a sudden, purple hair doesn't really matter that much to me. And you know what? She was right.
I guess that's a stretch, but okay.
No. She made me see that why would I judge somebody because she's a kid, 16 or 17, and she colors her hair purple. I mean, if I had enough hair, I might go the pink route or the purple route.
The one thing I kind of joke with the kids when they do the colors in their hair at school, I say, make sure you take pictures and you keep them, because if your mom takes pictures 20 years from now, when you're a mom and your teenage daughter comes in here and she does something crazy, grandma's going to get those pictures out and say, hey, remember this was you when you were 15.
Yeah. And so I had a whole different perspective on how to view that, because really, when you look at the whole scheme of it, it ain't really that bad. So when I was a senior in high school, there was a product that you put in your hair, and you still put it in your hair. It's called Sun-In. Okay, I go to Tower Hill. I go to the beach. I dump a bottle of Sun-In on my hair. 2 days later, my hair turns orange. My dad makes fun of me.
I would too.
And so, my dad said, he said, when that stuff starts growing out, he said, and about a week then it turned like real blonde. And he said, when that stuff starts growing out, you ain't getting it cut. I don't care if it's half brown and half, you're wearing it like that. And I said, okay.
Yeah, you didn't care.
Yeah. But so because Caleb Williams paints his fingernails, because he's kind of
that was still left over from college, wasn't it?
100%. But because he's kind of
He's a free spirit. He's kind of a
free-spirited kid.
a Bill Walton type.
Yeah. But does that mean he's not a good football player?
I understand.
I don't think it. I think so. I'm a big believer in him, and I think he has a chance to be a really, really special football player. And I think the big thing with him is he's getting coached up.
Finally he's getting coached, and he hasn't been coached like this since college.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not even sure in college he never took a snap under center. Yeah. He was always in the gun.
Right.
So they had to teach him how to take a snap under center. And what they said to him was, when you're under center, it gives you more time to see what's going on with the defense. Because now when you're in the shotgun, you got to put your head down. You got to make sure you catch the snap. And now you're taking your head off of what's going on out there. And so he's like 36, 37% under center and right in the league average.
And he's reading everything.
Yeah. He's reading everything.
So who plays this week? Who's playing when?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
I haven't looked at the Saturday.
Who's playing, man.
There's 2 games Saturday.
There's 2 games Saturday. Seattle will host the 49ers.
Seattle's pretty good.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, is Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold a quarterback that you're going to go into and you're going to say, man, Sam Darnold could beat us?
They're winning with him right now.
Maybe he can. I mean, maybe he can. I think they're winning because they got great defense.
Well, you
I
might
mean,
be
maybe
right.
he can, but I'm not really sure
Well,
he can.
and that's one of those things that we don't get to see Seattle that often because of the time change. You know, they're out on the West Coast. There's a lot of times we don't see them.
Yeah, and then on Saturday also, the Bills are at Denver. And again, you know, Pat Mahomes is out of the playoffs now. So now Josh Allen has a chance to maybe advance a little bit because it was always Josh Allen playing Kansas City in the second round.
I don't see that. I don't think he's the next heir apparent. I think Denver has as good a chance of winning everything as Buffalo does.
Yeah, but then you go with Bo Nix. He's a second-year quarterback. And when you look at Denver, you're talking about Sean Payton. You're talking about what he's put in from a coaching staff.
Sure.
Yeah, and so
but I like Denver.
I think that's going to be a great game
and
too.
It's out in Denver, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Sunday, the Texans are at New England.
How about the Texans just beat the heck out of that?
Well,
Pittsburgh the other night.
I mean, defensively, they're so good, and they made Aaron Rodgers look really old.
Yes.
They made Aaron Rodgers look old.
And I don't think it was so much him right away. I think the team started falling apart, and then eventually he tried doing some things on his own, and it didn't work.
We can't move in the pocket anymore, and he's 42 years old. And he needs to go and do some substitute teaching and watch a lot of TV.
Right.
I mean, because at 1:00 it's Little House on the Prairie.
Okay.
At 2:00 it's Bonanza. At 3:00 it's Wagon Train.
You got Gunsmoke.
And at
in there
4:00
somewhere.
it's Gunsmoke.
Right.
So it's not much better than that. And then Sunday at 5:30, do not even attempt to call me. At 4:30, I'm going to have my chair, my snacks, and everything set because I'm going to watch the pregame. And 5:30, the Rams are at the Bears.
You've got your own TV, right? Because I've got
100 of them.
I've got 3 of them down there.
I got a 75-incher that no one will mess with.
Well, that's good.
No
You're
one
all
will
set.
mess. I'll have one dog on this side of me in the chair, and my other dog on this
Yeah,
side.
you've got a nice setup.
And we'll be watching Bear football.
Who was it that came down there and fixed up your home theater stuff?
Yeah, no, I
You've
did.
got a nice little setup.
Yeah,
don't you?
no, it's really cool. And I'll be there watching Chicago Bear football and rooting them on. But our guest here, I always root on, and we're going to slide him in here. Eric Gaff. Eric, come on in here. You're going to sit right here. You can just step over this. Get those size 15s. So what are they, 16s or 15s? 16s. Wow. There you go. You should be good to go there.
Oops.
There you go. Move this
He was
up a
probably
little bit.
too close to you.
Yeah. So,
Welcome. How you doing, big man?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so when we say big man, is it 6'8" or 6'9"? 6'10" maybe?
6'10".
Is it really?
It is. It is. Although I'm probably shrinking in my old age. So I might be down to 6'8" now. Who knows?
No. So, and this, I swear to you, this happens. And I never believed it, but it's true. Like my dad, like when you get old, I'm 70, he's 70. So when you get old sometimes, and people say this, but I never thought it was true, your ears freaking get big. And I never, I remember saying, Dad, your ears used to be like that. Now they're like that. And my dad used to tell me.
There's no telling where some of this comes
from. And then
from.
you shrink, shrink a little. I'm still 6'5". I mean, I'm measuring out of 6'5". I ain't shrunk, and my ears ain't got any bigger.
I'm down to 6'5".
So I feel really good, right?
Yeah, you should feel good. You're doing well.
Yeah. So do you think you're down to maybe 6'9.5" or something?
Maybe.
He's still young.
Maybe. I'm getting old.
How old are you?
38.
38. He's same age as Stephanie and Jordan.
Yeah, you're same age as my daughter. So
yeah.
So you grew up in Elkhart and you played at Concord, right?
Yes, sir.
Who did you play for in Concord?
Ryan Culp.
Yeah, Ryan Culp was a really good basketball coach.
He's a good guy.
And when was Steve Austin before Ryan Culp, or was Steve Austin after?
After he came in after.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Austin is a really, really, really good friend of mine, and has battled some health problems. Had a great career actually coaching at St. Joe.
Yeah, I actually was. I was his freshman coach for a short time.
Really?
I was home in between stints playing overseas, and I was subbing. And he walked up and said, "You want to be a freshman coach?" I got time. Yeah, let's do it. So I learned a lot underneath him. And if you come in my office at St. Joe, I have 2 binders that say Coach Austin offense, Coach Austin out of bounds unders. It's all his offense. So he was awesome, tremendous impact on me as a coach.
Yeah. Make sure you hold that.
My apologies.
Because I mean, we have so many people that jumped on tonight when we promoted you, and they said we want to hear Coach Gaff.
Yeah,
so you got to make sure you hold that up there.
I'm sure.
But so then
you see the mayor left, by the way.
As soon as I walked in, he left.
Yeah,
and it makes perfect sense.
That's all right. That's all right.
You did say hi to him though, real quick. I saw
he
that.
was nice. He came in the gym and talked to our guys last year after we won. So I had to tell him thanks again.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. So then after your stint at Concord, then you played at Grace College?
Yes, sir.
For the great Jim Kessler.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, I love Jim Kessler, man.
Yeah, he was awesome. He's I think he's the first coach and maybe the last I've really been around where it was more important about the relationships than the X's and O's, and he just loved every guy. To this day, he loves every guy that he ever coached. And he knows everyone by name, knows their kids by name. He's just a tremendous guy.
Yeah, when I played in Manchester, and this shows you how long he coached at Grace. When I played at Manchester, he was coaching at Grace, and he had a couple of twins that played at Grace, and their last name was like Heingartner or something like that. They were 6'5". They were both 6'5", and they were the nastiest dudes I ever. They were the meanest guys And I played against them 3 years. Every year we got into a little bit of a scuffle, man. Every year. And Coach Kessler was always there, guys. Bring it up, guys.
We hated playing man. We played Manchester when I was there. We never liked Manchester either. I don't know what it is, but we never liked them.
Yeah, no, and Grace. So obviously, did you play in the new gym or the old gym?
I got 2 years in both. 2 years in the old, 2 years in the new.
Yeah, because the old gym was classic. Had so much red in there and everything.
It was cool. I like the fans were right on.
They're right on you.
It was so tight. So that was cool. It wasn't cool when you come in the gym during like winter break and there'd be snow on the ground inside the gym. That was not cool. But it happens with age. So.
Yeah. That's the reason they have a new one.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh no, and the new gym they got is phenomenal.
Well, they're NAIA, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're Crossroads leagues.
Yeah, that's
the greatest
right.
league.
But that's the reason they can
America.
have those high school. They have that Christmas tournament there with the high school teams in there, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's a nice tournament. They've been getting some good teams in there recently.
Good teams. We played a couple years there, and Scott Moore now down there does a great job.
Hey, let me ask you real quick. Overseas, where'd you play? Over you were in Europe, or were you in the Middle East? Where were you?
I did the majority of my time in Australia.
Australia. You weren't in Europe or either one.
I did. My first year was in Oslo, Norway. It was my first year, and then I went from there down to Australia. And I thought, weather's great. They speak English, kind of. Awesome. I loved it, and I stayed. And it was like 9 years, I think.
Is that right?
Did you really play 9 years?
The seasons are opposite, right?
That's correct.
So it's summertime right now because they're getting ready. If you watch the tennis channel, they're getting ready for the Australian Open.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this. Did they ever do any kind of like little things where you guys had to box against kangaroos? Anything like that?
I don't want to lose. Yeah, they're too big.
Because they always talk about that in Australia, the kangaroos, right?
Yeah, they will, for real. Like if you mess around with one, they'll box you. I stayed clear. From the house to the gym to the house, occasionally to the beach. But when I see an animal that's like my size or close to my size,
you're
out. Way away.
So were you married when you were playing at that
single
time?
man out there. So, it was a good time. Traveled around, got to see a lot of things and experience a different life.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. When obviously you love basketball, and when you get a chance to play it, and for whatever amount of money they're going to pay you, but you can live and still play for 8 or 9 years and do what you love to do, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad life, and it's obviously it's not. I'm not getting paid like an NBA player by any means, but it's structured well. Like they give you a car, they pay for your house, your phone, your insurance. So you have no bills, and then you get a salary on top of that. So even if you're in a low league, you can still make decent money. And I think if that's your dream, do it, because you're never going to get a chance again. And
To go play. You're getting paid to play, right?
yeah. Oh, now kids can do it now here, so a little different. But back in my time, you actually had to go somewhere. And sign
Yeah,
a
no,
contract.
and then it's kind of like the same thing in coaching though too, because it's almost like, I mean, you go to work in shorts. If you're teaching PE, you go to work in shorts and tennis shoes, and it's like in this coaching deal, you never really have to grow up. It's something that you do, you've done your whole life. And the only thing you got to grow up for is to be the best dad in the world and to be a great husband. But other than that, you go to work in shorts and tennis shoes, right?
It's awesome. Yeah, every day.
And,
No,
and,
no,
and
I
talk
love
to the
that.
talk to the media, and occasionally have to go talk to the people in the front office. You know, you got to play grown up when you do that. But when you're in the gym, you can still be a kid.
Yeah, I think it's of course I did it for 35 to 40 years, and I never had to grow up, man. So then, where's your first coaching gig at Concord? Then was that your first coaching gig?
Yeah. So technically, my first high school job was a freshman. I think it was like 2010 to 2013 or 2012. I helped out with Concord. Coach Austin had some good teams that time, and had Jason Spriggs was there, who went on to play for the Green Bay Packers, I think. But he was good, and had Franco House, who went on to Ball State.
Yes, he did.
So they had some good players. So that was fun. It was good, learning like how to scout a team. I think Coach Austin's scout was like 8 pages. He's like, yeah, fill this out. I was like, what? But yeah, it was a good lesson. And then I coached a little bit overseas, coached some teams overseas because I knew that's where I wanted to go in life. And so I wanted some experience. And then when I came back, my first gig was Mark Johnson as his assistant.
Yeah, that had to be cool because Coach Jay has done it a long time, and I've always thought that his whole deal is coaching relationships and having great relationships with his players. And I think just to be able to learn that and to be able to have somebody be a mentor for you or anybody else, I think that's priceless.
Yeah, I don't know how you get better as a coach without the relationships you build with other coaches. Even the time I get to talk to you, I always try and take away something from you and your experiences, in this life. But Coach Shay's been awesome for me. We talk dang near every day, after practice. If I don't call him, he'll call me. And what happened in practice? How did so-and-so play? Is he toughening up? Is he not toughening up? You should have cut his ass, whatever, whatever he feels like. So, it's been great.
He doesn't have a filter, does he?
No.
And now that he's retired,
quote, by the way.
now that he's retired, it's even less.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So when I came up in coaching, I spent a couple years as an assistant, but I never really had a mentor. I never had anybody. My brother was a high school football coach at Mishawaka Marion and won 3 state championships. So maybe he was a mentor in the coaching and the relationship building, but I never had a mentor as a basketball coach. So I almost had to learn it on the fly as I went. And I made just a ton of mistakes, but I always tried to grow from those mistakes. My first year of being a head coach, I was at a high school called Wapahani, and Wapahani's been pretty good lately. And I'm this tough guy, and I want my guys to be tough. I teach them to take charges. We play a team, and we take like 9 charges. They call 3 of them. I end up getting 3 techs in my first game as a coach. Second game we play, same thing. I get 2 techs. I get a call on Monday from the commissioner. His name was Gene Cato at the time. He was a Southern Indiana guy, and he had this drawl. And he said, Ron, he said, your first weekend of being a head coach, you're second in the state in technicals. And I said, Mr. Cato, I said, who's in first place? He said, the great Bill Harrell at Muncie Central. I said, give me a week and I'll catch him. And he said, that's not really what I'm trying to tell you, Heck.
Yeah, there's a
Slow
lot
down.
and you're right. You, Jimmy Shannon, and Mark Barnheiser, for example, the 3 that I can remember right off the top of my head, you guys were head coaches like boom, almost straight out of college within 2 or 3 years. All 3 of you. So you kind of had to learn on the fly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so you make a lot of mistakes, but in your case, you had a couple great mentors in Steve Austin and Mark Johnson, right?
Yeah, 100%. And they've saved me a lot of mistakes, or at least walked me through when I did make the mistake. Like, yeah, I've been there, I've done that. I have two questions for you. Do you think that was the culture back then? You just had to figure it out on your own? Like, now the culture is you build in people around you. So, like, we're constantly building relationships as coaches. When you started, was it more like
No,
more?
I think I was so young. I was 24 and I was a head coach, and so I didn't have the time to really align myself with a head coach that I worked for, and it was probably my own fault because I was always so like self-assured and thought I knew what I was doing and faked myself out to tell myself I know what I'm doing, and then got hired and then just tried to figure it out. And I think back then, today coaches are friendly. Like, I see you guys before the game, you guys are chatting it up, if there's another head coach there.
Yeah.
Back when I was doing it early, there was no friendship, man. You were trying to beat somebody's brains out every weekend. And when I first got to Anderson, there was Sam Alford at Newcastle. There was the great Bill Harrell at Muncie Central. There was Bill Green at Marion.
Is still at Marion.
Yeah, there was Jimmy Hamill at Lafayette Jeff. Those guys were 55, 60 years old, and they're trying to survive,
Right.
Because they want to keep coaching, and they're so freaking good at it that they're not going to give me any advice.
Right. They don't want you beating them.
No. Steve Woody is coaching at Ben Davis and runs us out by 35 at Anderson. And after the game, we're shaking hands, and he says, "Heck, we caught you on a bad night." I said, "No, you didn't. You just kicked our ass, man. You just beat our ass."
Right.
But
Well, he had some good teams back then too.
Yeah. But so and today I see a lot of you guys. You talk, and maybe you pick each other's brains. I don't know.
Sometimes I think sometimes it's more of a like. I think the culture's changed around the game of basketball, and so we have a lot of the same issues that are going on. And so I think we talk more about that, like how are you handling this situation, whether it's a family causing problems or a player, like you can see it from the stands. Sometimes you have to deal with players that think there's something more than they are, and you're trying to work them down to like, no, this is your role. And something that we went through when I was a player, and it was more the coach said, this is you, and you go, yes, sir, and move on. I think now you got to learn how to explain the why behind everything. So I think that's a lot of the conversations.
Well, you've got so many kids that are more AAU oriented out today, so they're getting people in their ear during the summer, in the spring and summertime, telling me, hey, you can do this, I can get this for you. Plus, you got the mom and dad at home, so they're getting advice from numerous directions.
Yeah, I think a lot of times my question is how are you handling this as a coach? Because I came in with the mindset that I kind of picked up from Coach Jay, and it was like you don't have to be on that page. You're always on my page, and that's it. Don't come talk to me unless you're on this page. And I just don't think it works anymore. Or at least I don't have that ability as a coach, and so I'm always trying to figure out how can I explain my why much better so my guys understand where they fit in our program. Our families are bought in. So we've tried some new things this year, and that's a lot of times what I talk to coaches about, like, hey, how are you handling these situations? Because it's everywhere. It's not just in our school. It's every single school has some variable of that. So I think I don't ask too many X's and O questions because I don't think my kids could run it even if I could teach it.
Yeah. Well, and plus you have kids that I think the less X and O's that you have, and just give them parameters to play in because they're so athletic, and then they can go make plays.
Yeah, and I think this is probably how you ran your offense. Is if I guess is you got great players. How do you put them in a great spot to be a great player? Yeah, no, exactly. Out of the way.
And what kind of actions do you want to put them in?
Right.
That best utilize their attributes. I mean Elijah King. Anytime you see a mismatch, I would go 1-4 low. Hey, spread it out. Get on the baseline. Get out of Elijah's way. And I'm not sure. I was telling Steve when Steve Draven took the Bethel job, and he had a great guard. I forgot his name, but he was a great athletic guard. And I saw him play, and I mean, Steve was setting ball screen after ball screen after ball screen for him, and all Steve was doing was bringing more defenders up to defend him.
Yeah.
And I said, Steve, this dude don't need a ball screen. He's good enough to get it on his own.
Right.
Get all the defenders away from him, and don't bring ball screeners up there.
Right.
Steve, I mean, he did that obviously, and it worked out because this particular player didn't need a ball screen to get his. And I think Elijah King is a lot like that.
Yeah, I think we're now trying to get away from as many ball screens as possible, because I think offense swung to the ball screen offense, everyone's running it, and now everyone defends it. So like, all right, let's swing back and let's get to more of a motion or spread it out. And then when you got a guy like Elijah King, man, just get that guy out of the way. That kid is a load coming down.
Yeah, and so ball screens to me just invited traps.
Right.
I mean, if you were going to ball screen and I had, good teams, we were just going to trap you.
Well, and the people now you see, most of them they're switching it. So they're running ball screens hoping to get a switch where you got maybe a big on small, and you got that mismatch. But we started running ghost screens where when we'd slip everything, and you'd still show the ball screen to see what they were going to do. Are they going to do a drop coverage, or are they going to hedge? What are they going to do? And then you'd slip it, especially if it was a switch.
Yeah.
But then that still gives you the freedom to let him have an open court and do as he please. Let me ask you this: JV teams. I think with the recruiting and kids now being able to move at least once, I think we have to really spend more time with those freshmen and sophomores, especially the ones that you think you need 2 years from now when you look in that crystal ball. I think JV coaches are more important right now than maybe they've ever been.
I would agree. I think freshmen and JV coaches are extremely important. The hard part is, like, Landon Booker was my JV coach for the past 3 years, and he's phenomenal. But
yeah, when I quit, he said, "Coach, can I go over to St. Joe?" He said, "They asked me to come over." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I don't care. You better just check with your wife first, make sure it was okay," because he had a newborn at the time.
Yeah, we survived, thankfully. But like, he got to a point where he's saying, like, yeah, I want to be more with varsity. I want to move up. And, I think he has aspirations to probably be a head coach one day. And so, like, all right, like, he's a great coach and he does a great job to move him up. And then filling those with quality coaches has been hard. We kind of lucked out, and the coaches were able to fill in. Teach them, like, build relationships, by far the most important. Like, you want to retain your players, it's relationships that are going to get them to retain. And then development is probably the second.
Kind of guilt them into some loyalty, so to speak.
Yeah. We want, what do you think the attrition rate is for a freshman team? You have 12 guys on a team. How many of those guys are going to make varsity?
Mm-hmm.
It's not as high as you would think.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
But the thing is,
3 or 4 their senior year.
Those 3 or 4, you'd like for them to still be at your school, not someplace else.
Well,
it is a different day now from that standpoint.
100%. Everything's bleeding down. What you saw happen, the player empowerment NBA bled down to college. See what's happening in college. That's coming to us. And so, some good and bad from it. But I think if you play your cards right, and I think if you can build a good culture, it should retain the guys.
Right.
And then hopefully get rid of the guys that you never wanted in the first place.
Right.
It saves you cutting them. So far, knock on wood, we've been able to kind of do that decently well. And the next year will be a big tell how that goes for us next year.
Yeah, and watching some of your JV games, because obviously we get there early to set up. And I think you have some pretty good players. I like the little freshman kid, the kid that moved in from Northridge.
He's on varsity now.
Yeah, full time on varsity.
Yeah, we Roseman injured.
Yeah.
Should get him back. We got some good news with him, so we should get him back here hopefully in the next 2 weeks. But I don't think he's getting challenged enough in practice, and he'll still play 1 or 2 quarters JV, but he's been sticking with us, and his play is raised. He's been with us 2 full days in practice with varsity, and each day he's getting closer and closer to those guys. So he'll stay with us now.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really liked when I saw you practice is when you have good assistant coaches. Good assistant coaches don't have to come in and try and steal the show with what they want to teach. But what they can do is take one player off to the side and talk to that one player. And I saw Booker do that a couple of times. Just take one player and say, hey, listen, you didn't do this way. So next time you get in, do it this way. And just to be able to have that relationship. And I thought your coaches did that really, really well. Swanigan is a great guy to have involved, man. I love him.
We lucked out. We should have had him sooner. I had a family go, hey, our neighbor wants to help coach. And how many times someone go, hey, my neighbor.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, all right, yeah, whatever. And so I go, well, give him my email. Let me know.
And it was Harold Swanigan.
6 months go by. They go, yeah, my neighbor. And I go, all right. What's his name? He goes, Harold Swanigan. I go, Jamie, Chris, that's that you lead with the name.
Yeah. But I don't need no neighbor. Just give me his name.
Yeah. But he's been tremendous. I mean, the guys love him. He has, I can't repeat how he talks, but he has such a way of connecting with the guys.
He does.
And that's such a big thing for us. And he delivers, I think the big thing with kind of on your point is your assistant coaches have to deliver the same message, but worded differently.
Exactly. 100%.
If I'm the hammer, they got to go, inflate the guy. And so Swan does a great job of always delivering my message in the exact opposite way. If I hammer a kid, he picks him up right away. If I'm easy on the kid, he hammers him, and it's been really good.
Yeah, I think the continuity that you would have in your coaching staff and the ability to read off each other and play to your strengths or maybe your weaknesses, I think that's really, really important. Let's talk about your team now. Your team is 7-4. You've played the 11th toughest schedule in the state of Indiana. I don't know if you know that, but and I'm sure you went into this. You're coming off of a state championship. You have really good players coming back. You got Shrewsbury, you got Elijah King, you got Ethan Roseman, you got Braylon White. You're lucky. You're so lucky to have Ryder Place.
He's been awesome this year. He's gotten so much better, man.
I mean, he's a freaking player. And who would have thought that Ethan would have gone down? But so you're going to say, I'm going to schedule tough. I'm going to go play some of these shootouts. And for instance, you had a hell of a game on a Friday night against Riley. The gym it's a sellout.
I didn't say last weekend was
standing room
one of
only.
those. You had a great game Friday night, and then you had to try and go to Indianapolis the next day
and play Silver Creek.
Yeah, Silver Creek's really good, but I would argue they have a fighting chance to be number one in the state. They are well balanced, really good program. But
how'd you like Coach Hoffman?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
Yeah, good guy.
We were in the same sectional when I was down there in Madison.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at Madison. Silver Creek was in the same sectional with us, with Corridon, North Harrison. You mentioned North Harrison earlier.
Yeah.
And we were all in the same Charlestown. We were all the same sectional.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Good guy. Good program.
Yeah.
I mean, his only loss is in the Hall of Fame championship to Crown Point, right?
Yeah.
So he's getting some of those kids bleeding over from Floyd Central, Jeffersonville, New Albany. They're the next school district north and east of all that.
Well, they're pretty good. I hear they got another Kaufman Wren coming up in the ranks. So
Really?
Yeah, I heard he's pretty good too.
All right, so you get done playing that game on Friday night. You get the kids out of the locker room. I don't know, maybe it's 10 o'clock, 10:30. I mean, jacked up, just a humongous crowd. Great Indiana high school basketball atmosphere. What time do you have them in the gym the next day, and then when do you leave?
Got there at 11 a.m., got them moving, and then we were on the bus at 11:40 and got to Southport High School where we met Silver Creek, and, we had about an hour and 20 to warm it up and kind of get the guys moving again. And
did they have a second gym for you guys to go warm up at all?
We weren't allowed to use it. So we were originally supposed to play them in the what was that shootout called? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah,
it was Tip-Off Classic.
It was what, either right before Christmas or right after Christmas,
right
wasn't
before
it?
Christmas.
Had bad weather.
And thankfully to Coach Hoffman, we were texting each other, and I said, hey, I still want to play. And he goes, we are still playing. We were going to find a gym somewhere, somehow. So we started high. We started with Butler, and we were going to play in Butler, and then found the price tag. A little steep for a high school program. So then we went back to Southport, and honestly, I think it was great for our guys. I mean, we got our butts kicked in, and it was a great lesson for us, and a great reminder of what it takes to be special.
Yeah, and so now playing that tough schedule now as you look what you have now, you're back home. You're playing your schools that you're going to play in your sectionals. You're starting off with Washington, which you got snowed out tonight. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to have you. You got Washington, you got Concord, you got Northwoods down this year. So you got a 3-game run, and then you got your conference game against Penn.
Yeah.
At St. Joe.
Yeah. The next 3 games, I think, how good are you really? Do you come to each game as if it is the most important game, or do you just show up and go, well, South Bend Washington's down a little bit this year. Concord doesn't seem to be as good this year. Or do you come in and say, hey, we're St. Joe. We're going to be the best version of St. Joe every single day. And, I'm excited for tomorrow night, to see if our guys really follow through, because today in practice, they were like, we're going to be the very best St. Joe you've seen all year tomorrow. So we're excited to see if our guys will do that.
Yeah, you do a lot of talking with your guys like that. I've read some of your quotes and some of your comments where, hey, you guys said you wanted to be the best, so this is your opportunity to go do it and do it.
Yeah, it's nice because the guys will say it, and you go, okay, that's what you said. Now I'm going to hold you accountable.
I didn't say it. You said it.
These are your words. So now you're going to be accountable to those words. And, when that gets thrown back in your face, even me as a coach, we tell the guys, like, hey, if I say something, I don't do it, you let me know. And when a guy goes like, hey, you said, we're going to practice like this, and we're not, man, that's a great reminder, and it's a great way to hold accountability. So to the guys' credit, when we stick it to them, they step up real quick. So it's been awesome.
I'm just looking here. You've got 3 road games in a row. You've got a road game tomorrow at Washington. Then you've got Concord on the road Saturday, and then you come right back Tuesday down at Northwood, as you mentioned. So you're not back home until the Penn game on the 23rd.
Why do you want to play at home anyways? We like road trips.
Yeah, no,
How many sets of road jerseys do you have?
2.
Okay.
We got 2.
I would dispute that, because when I was coaching at Anderson and the Wigwam, and of course, Pat knows because that's where Pat played. Pat's an Anderson Indian. But, when I was coaching there, I would buy games in. And I would say, we'll give you $1,000 and we'll give you 200 tickets and come on in. And our North Central Conference schedule was, I don't know what, maybe 4 road games every year. I played 15 home games.
That's awesome.
No, and then when I saw your deal against Riley, the crowd and the enthusiasm and all of that, I'm saying, man, this is really cool at St. Joe.
If we can keep that, if we can get those numbers all the time, we should get that at Penn. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and then you go to Elkhart. So Elkhart, Concord, Northwood would not let us come in and video those games. That's why we're not doing those games. They would not let us video them because they have contracts with other vendors. And I wanted to do the Elkhart game because of Bodie. I know Bodie really well and stuff. But then after that, I think we're doing all of your games. And one of them I'm really excited to do is Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
Are they coming here this year?
Heck yeah, they're coming here.
Okay. I know you played over there last year. That was on TV, actually. Watched it live.
It'll be on TV this year.
Good.
Yeah, so it'll be on TV here and in Chicago, which is pretty cool for the guys.
Okay.
And then obviously you guys, so that'll be awesome. Should be a good game. They're really well coached. You would like their coach out there, tough guy, and their guys play incredibly well. And they've got athletes everywhere. Their crowd's got athletes, man. It's crazy.
So when I was at Anderson,
the crowd,
my first year, Mount Carmel's coming to Anderson, and I'm saying, Mount Carmel, they're telling me, oh yeah, they're really good. They got a couple of good players. One of them's name is Antoine Walker, played at Kentucky, played in the NBA, and the other's name is Donovan McNabb, played quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're bringing those 2 guys into the Wigwam, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I saw they had 2 big shrines to both those guys on their gym. You can walk down this really cool alumni hallway that has all their great athletes. And
they have a bunch too, don't they?
Oh,
yeah.
Let me tell you.
Mount Carmel's a factory. Yeah.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah. I think that's a great game for you again. And, I love watching your team play because they do compete. Shrewsbury is as athletic as anybody, right, that you play against.
He is the most athletic guy, and he's slowly turning that switch where he goes, oh, I can dunk all of these drives.
Yeah.
And I think His best basketball is for sure in front of him, for sure.
Yeah, and you know, so he likes to shoot, and obviously you've seen him play, and he hasn't met a shot that he doesn't like, and he's deep. But when he gets his footwork done, and when he's set, and he's got a second to get it off, I think he's a really good shooter.
Yeah, if he's set, it's going in for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think it matters where he's shooting. If he's set and he's shooting it, it's going to go in.
At the volleyball line.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Volleyball line.
He came in fall and he goes, Coach, I'm going to shoot from here. And I was like, yeah, if you can make 5. And I think he went 5 for 7. And I was like, hey.
Now you got to
Shoot him, man. Let's go.
Logo.
Yeah. So I'll talk about your pressing now. I was a pressing coach. But I had a philosophy, and once the word got out that you're going to play Anderson and Anderson's going to press you, then it became more of an illusion for me, because I know teams practiced the press breakers. A significant amount of time before they played us, and then I would press with just man to man, and it wasn't really big time pressure. Only when I sensed that the other team, was either getting tired or whatever, but our rep was, man, they're going to press the heck out of you. But it was more for illusionary things, and for coaches to think that. And then at certain times during the game, then we'd hit them with a quick trap, or we'd hit them with a double when they weren't looking. But to say that it was a pressing team, I never thought we really pressed that much, but everybody else thought we did.
They thought you did.
And you played against us a couple of times.
Sure.
I'm sure you went into that thinking you're going to get pressed.
Right. Sure you do. But the thing is, we pressed too. So it wasn't that big of an adjustment during the week, because we were basically just practicing against ourselves.
Yeah. So do you study it from an analytical standpoint, and what you get out of it, and then what the other team gets out of it? I mean, do you have numbers at the end of the game saying?
Yeah. So we look at the first thing we look at is like who's shooting the ball, because typically in high school, especially, where are their best players at when you get pressed? They're always at the front of the press. If they throw it, it ain't coming back to them. That means their 4th, 5th, or 6th best player, depending on where they are in their sub rotation, are shooting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great way to look at it.
That's a win. If their 5th best player is shooting the ball and he makes it, that's a bigger win, because he's going to shoot the next 2 shots and they're not going in.
He's got some confidence.
So we like that.
We used to press when teams would take their point guard out and give him a rest. And when we'd throw the press on the second string point guard and screw up their substitution pattern, because they end up having to put that starter back in before they wanted to survive the press.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. When you say their 3rd, 4th, or 5th best players is taking shots, and so not only do you not have to force a turnover, but the best player is not taking shots, and that is a win.
Yeah, and I think we say like, hey, it's a long-term press. Like we don't have to get 10 steals in the first quarter. That's okay. We do want to wear them down physically, because I don't think many teams are as in good a shape as we are. We want them to be worn down mentally, because you always have to be on when you're being pressed or you're under pressure. And then we want to frustrate. If their best player is struggling to get the ball, or they're always under pressure, that frustration starts to wear on them. They start taking bad shots. I haven't shot a ball in a couple of times. I'm open, at the volleyball, I'm going to fire this sucker. That's good. That's a win. And so we look at that. And then the numbers wise, if you want to get analytical, we look at time of possession. So like some of the teams we play are run their offense from, anywhere from 24 seconds to 36 seconds roughly is their average. And so if we can get them sped up in the teens or low 20s, I don't think the coach is going to be happy, because that's not what they're normal. And then their players aren't used to that pace, and that will give them worse shots. And as the game progresses, worse shots, they always favor us in the long run.
That's one of those late 3rd quarter things start to show, because you said the mental exhaustion starts to kick in, and the point guard's frustrated because he hadn't had the ball, or their best scorer has only taken 4 or 5 shots, and he's not in double figures yet, and he starts seeking shots.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it. And then if your kids, they believe in it. They don't want to play half court anymore, do they?
No, they like it. It took some buying, like it took some hard work 2 years ago, and then it just kind of bled down. And I think they see like we get easier shots the other way, and it just kind of works. We do change it up. We have a couple variations of our press. We have a zone press that we try and hide as long as possible before I have to throw it out there to give ourselves breaks. Sometimes, you want your 5 best out there.
Sure.
So you got to give them breaks. So we try and keep things different and keep them from changing. I think another thing, like if you always pressed or the teams thought you were pressing, that meant they were burning practice time working on press,
100%,
not working on their offense or defense, and that takes them away from them, which I think is also a small.
It's changed their practice schedule.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I think that's a big point of it, and that's why I would always tell the coaches, let's give an illusion that we do this 24/7, although we know we don't, because we're picking our chances when we're going to double.
Right.
Now, if they're gonna dribble it into bad spots on the court and they say double us, step over the 10-second line or on the sideline, and they say double us, we're going to freaking double you.
Right.
But if they keep it in the middle of the floor where it's hard to double, then we'll just play man to man, because we always had good quick guards like you do.
Did you have calls for pressing
Yeah. 15 was always going to be traps. 14 was just we're going to just play man to man full court. But again, if they take it in bad places, like it amazes me 100%. It amazes me how when teams are going to set up their press breaker, they catch the freaking ball 2 steps from the end line
every time.
And
Every time.
all that says is trap me.
Yeah.
And instead of moving a press breaker back behind the free throw line and cutting and catching the ball maybe in the free throw line area where you got a lot of room to operate. And I just, for the life of me, I want to call a timeout and go down and say, Coach, move the press breaker back. Don't catch the ball on the end line.
Right.
Because then there's the trap. Now your second guy's going to say, am I going to take the pass away across, or am I going to take the middle? And now you're in your rotations.
Yeah. We typically, we used to say take away that first one in the middle, because we think the long one we could probably steal.
Yeah.
We went away from that. We now, stunt that. We'd rather go to the middle, and then we can peel back and get in front of it. Konechny was so good. That's why it was like, man, it always works. We always get this good. Konechny was so good at making that pass so high. It worked a lot better.
Yeah, no, he was on the point of your press.
Yeah, it was.
It helps. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Chase Konechny, I hope you feel the same way I do about this. When he was snubbed off that all-star team, it made me want to freaking puke, because I was in. I mean, I was the head coach of the All-Stars, and I was in the meetings picking the team. And I think our guy from Chesterton was the head coach there, right, that year. Yeah, so he's a Northern coach. He knows that Northern kids get snubbed. He's in that meeting, and he's saying Chase Konechny can play from 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. And when you're in an all-star game, you need guys that can play everywhere. Yeah. And the fact that he got snubbed was, I mean, I wanted to call Mike Broughton and say, are you crazy, man?
Yeah, I heard. I think about it more than I probably should, but like we needed more rebounding on our team. And I'm like, he averaged a double-double. He did rebound. Like, that's not a good reason. Like, what are we talking about? It was disappointing, but
so they took a point guard that's from Ben Davis instead.
That played 7 games because he was injured
the whole time,
and scored 7 points a game.
Yeah,
I get he might have been a great player, but he didn't do what Chase Konechny did in a career and his senior year win a state championship.
Yeah, it was disappointing all in.
Yeah, I don't want to even get in that, man, because I could talk on that all day long.
Have you talked to him recently? I looked up Florida Gulf Coast just this last week. He's playing some, but not as much as he
redshirted.
Is that what he did?
His brother is killing it.
I thought I saw JR had
well.
20-some the game I saw. I think they played Lipscomb when I looked at the box score.
I talked to Chase just a couple of days ago, actually. I said, how's it going? I know you're killing yourself in practice every day, and then you're not getting rewarded with that playing time. How's it doing? And he was like, it's tough. It's tough. But he goes, I'm getting better, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm enjoying it. Which, how can't you? You're living on the stupid beach. But
exactly.
But he's doing well, and his brother is playing really well, which I'm excited for him, and excited to see where they go in life.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more. He was And when you're talking about on the defensive side of it, on the offensive side of it, he was a 3-level scorer, but on the defensive side of it, he ignited everything because of his length, because of his athletic ability.
Yeah.
He was a big part of that for you. And plus, he came to work every day, right?
Oh my, that's the one thing that just blows my mind, where I think we took it for granted a little bit, that he just, we were telling the guys, we use Chase as an example. We go, how many times did Chase lose a sprint? I never saw him lose one in 4 years. And it wasn't because he was the fastest dude on the team. It was just because he wanted to win that bad. And I think that's a lesson that we're learning right now in our program. Like, hey, like you have to be great every day. Like you say, you want to be great. That means you got to win all the sprints. You got to be the first one in the gym, last one to leave. You got to have your locker the nicest. Like all of it matters. And Chase did that all. And I think that's why he was special.
Do you think any of your games before Christmas, maybe some of the guys were, as the games progressed, do you think they looked around and goes, where's Chase? Because nobody really took his place right off the bat. And some of them had to change the roles and do some different things that they hadn't done. And some of the new guys that were stepping in, they weren't him yet.
Yeah, I think they were shocked at how hard it was for them to get open. Chase opened the floor up so much because he required so much of attention on defense. So, some of the guys are like, I don't know, coach. I need more screens. I'm not getting open. I'm like, hey, let's go back. Let's look at this game from last year. Chase has the ball. Where's your defender? In the paint.
Yeah,
that's why.
Because whose name was at the top of everybody's scouting list last year?
Well, now, and rightfully so, it's Elijah King.
Yeah.
Because I think Elijah King can get whatever he wants to get. Yeah. And I think about it a lot when I say offense needs to be run through Elijah King. If you got a great look, if you got a great, if you got a steal, if you can get to the rack, but your offense, Elijah's got to touch it because he's a great playmaker. He can pass it, and he is a bona fide scorer.
Yeah, and he keeps improving on his ability to score. I think, one of our growth points, and when I say we, I mean myself as well, is it's hard because you go, well, I haven't shot the ball in a little bit. But it has to be, and like we try and teach, like it's always got to be like, where's Elijah? And like it's got to go
100%.
And Elijah said, we talked to him like, hey, if it's one of your shots, take it. If not, and I think this is his growth point, because I think if he's going to make it as big as I think he's capable of, I think he has to be a point guard. I don't think he can be a shooting guard at the next level, at a high level. And so it's, hey, you got to be able to facilitate at a high level, which he's doing a decent job of, and I think guys are doing a decent job of getting the ball in the right spots. But I think that's an area we got to get better at is finding our best guys at the best places. And it's an exciting part about coaching, right?
Well, yeah, because as you go down the schedule and the teams that you play are going to be better, you want the ball to go through your best players' hands. And when they make great decisions, if they're going to double Elijah, then he can kick. Or if they're going to double, Nick, he can kick it. But, you don't want to get beat because your third or fourth best player is taking a shot that he shouldn't take.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
And all of that is team chemistry and having a great relationship with your players like you do.
Yeah, and I think we're going the right direction with that. And I think another, is you got to have a little bit of, I'm going to use the word dog. I think there's another 2 words. Every great player I've ever played with, if you didn't get them the ball, man, they would let you know immediately. And I think Elijah's such a good kid. He's just like, man, they got to give me the ball. And I'm like, yeah, go tell him. Grab his jersey and say, hey.
Yeah,
and,
I'm over here. Yeah.
He's done it. He did today in practice a couple of times, and the ball came right to him. And he hit a 3, and all the coaches are looking at him. He's like, yeah, I get it. I see it.
Yeah. That's a part of understanding where the pecking order is on your team.
Yeah.
And if you got a good team, if you got a bad team, there is no pecking order.
Right.
You're just trying to get some buckets. If you got a good team and you can develop a pecking order, you're special.
Well, and if let's say he doesn't have the ball and he's down in one of the corners or he's down hiding under the basket someplace, those other people need to know, if I don't have the ball in my hand, I need to go find him.
Right.
And try to get him open so he can get a catch and get in shooting position.
Yeah.
Compared to him running out and just taking the ball out of somebody's hand. And,
I've debated about putting him in the low post. I think he'd be good in the low post.
He'd be good.
You could start him down there anyway.
He could be good wherever you put him.
Yeah. That's the nice thing about having good players, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that I always thought was, if you got a shooter and he wants to get a shot, let him set a screen. I mean, let him set a back screen, let him set a screen, and then
The screen to screener stuff,
get,
right?
no, I mean, get his defender involved in helping on a screen, and then he pops and
Yeah.
It drives me insane because everyone that knows the game's like, oh, you want to get open? Set a screen.
Set a screen.
You tell a player,
Screen
and
to
they're like,
screen to get a screen.
like, no, coach, I need to get a screen to get open. You're like, no. And like, we list, hey, this is how we show clips.
yeah.
Luckily, like, I have some intelligent guys that are like, I get it, I see it. But
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I know you. I'm pretty sure we're going to have school tomorrow. Maybe a 2-hour delay, right?
2-hour delay. Let's get a 2-hour delay.
100%. Sleep till 8. A 2-hour delay, and then get ready to play Washington. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming down here. This is a real calm night because of the weather. Usually there's 100 students in here going crazy, but and to our listeners. I hope you tuned in because what you got was a coaching clinic. You got a mini coaching clinic for about a half hour from one of the great high school coaches in this area.
Talking about yourself, aren't you?
No, stop, man. We're has-beens.
No,
we're
I don't believe
washed
that.
up
No
has-beens,
way.
man.
No way.
I mean, you young guys are the guys that are carrying the torch
The
now.
next generation, right?
Yeah, and I'm so happy and lucky to be involved with Regional Radio Sports Network and the great Paul Condry to be able to broadcast the 13 games plus your sectional tournament run, and do those St. Joe games and have a little bit of a relationship with St. Joe because I mean St. Joe was so freaking special to me. I had a great time at St. Joe. We had a great basketball program. Bob Donald was amazing. I went through a 3-year period where John Laskowski, who played for IU, played for the Bulls, Tom Abernathy, and Dave Kuzmits played, and we were good. And what nobody really thinks about, and I say this all the time, is Dave Kuzmits scored 999 points. Now, back then, we didn't know who scored. I mean, we didn't have John Harrells, right?
No.
We didn't have that. Tom Abernathy played 6 years in the NBA, got the 1976 NCAA championship, scored 997 points. Get Ab in the game late, man. Don't be taking them out. Let them get 1,000. But now kids know now.
They know 100%.
They know.
Yeah.
And you know what I say? Good for them because had we have known that Kuz had 999, we would have got him one. I talked to Al the other day. I'm walking out of the game with Al. I said, Al, go back and get the scorebook and let's change this. Get the eraser out and let's change and get Kuz another point.
Give him one of yours, right?
Yeah, take one of mine, man. I mean, Al Monhood did my games.
He's missed one game in like what 60 some years.
He did my games. So at Anderson, we had a guy that was 100 years old also, and he scored the games for 60 years also. And his name was Ron David.
Ron
You remember?
David, sure.
So when Ron David would make a mistake, he would use whiteout, and he would white it out, and Al just erases it. And I told Al this the other day. I said, Al, so when you carry the scorebook on, to the game on game one, it weighs the same at the end of the season. When Ron David carried it, he had so much whiteout, the book weighed 10 more pounds at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But those guys like that just live and die St. Joe athletics. That's where you're in just a really, really special place.
It is. It's been special, and it's more special to you guys in the gym. And the guys love it. They love that it's now getting a little bit. When I first got there nobody in the gym. With you guys in there, it's been awesome. You guys always talk about when you came in and talked, and I think that's what it's about, is building that bridge between your era to our era and to the next era. So it's awesome. We really appreciate it.
When are you doing the thing where you're bringing the older players back? Is that in January here, or have you changed that?
The alumni thing?
Yeah, the alumni.
Yeah, we
thing.
got it done. We snuck it in, and we did it quick. Because
did you have a lot of guys come back?
We had a reasonable number. Yeah, not as many as we would have had if we didn't get snowed out way back when.
Yeah, because John Laskowski called me, and John said, I'm going to the one, and then it got snowed out.
Got snowed out, yeah.
And the Straticus and all those guys, all those guys were coming back for it.
We'll do it again, because everyone we kind of met in this process has been awesome. And I don't know, man, like that's the one thing that I love about team sports is that team lasts forever.
Yeah,
those
it
guys
does.
are always around. So We don't want to lose that, and we want to continue to make St. Joe a special place.
All right, man. Listen, good luck as you roll down the schedule here. We'll be there doing the games. Tell the guys that to keep competing, and you're lying with them. Hey, I mean, it's you guys that said this. I didn't say this.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool because you put them. I mean, you put it right on them, and they can't get away from it.
and player-led teams, man, they win.
I agree, man.
Sounds
So
good.
that's this has been the great Eric Gaff, the head coach at St. Joe High School. His team is 7-4. They're fixing to go on a run here now. They got the 11th toughest schedule in the state, and we wish not the Indians, man. We wish the Huskies
He's still
the
good. The
best.
Huskies. All right, take care. See ya.
Hey, how about taking us to a break here, and we'll talk. We'll finish up with some
Finish
sports
up
here.
some sports. Yep.
Thinking about retirement? Harbor Group Planned Wealth helps you answer the big questions like when to draw Social Security, how to manage investment risk, and what health insurance might cost. Wondering if you can earn part-time income after 62 without losing benefits, or if retiring could actually feel like getting a raise. They've got answers and a plan to guide you. Call the Harbor Group at 765-393-1074 or visit harborgroup.com. That's harborgroup.com. Han Funeral Homes, located at 505 West 8th Street in Mishawaka, continues a proud tradition built on one promise of family serving families. With deep roots in the community, Han Funeral Homes offers traditional burial, cremation services, and now pet cremation options, providing compassionate care for every member of the family. Families in Mishawaka have long trusted Hans to guide them with dignity, understanding, and personal attention through life's most difficult moments. For more information, visit them online at hanfuneralhomes.com or call 574-255-1474. Han Funeral Homes, a family serving families.
Medicare plans can be confusing, but they don't have to be. I'm Tony Letcher, licensed insurance agent. I can help you compare your options because I'm appointed with many nationally recognized carriers. With my help, you can find the coverage that fits your needs and budget. I don't want you to be my client today. I want you to be my client forever. Call Tony Letcher today to schedule your free consultation or visit tletcher.com.
Looking to hit the road with confidence? Frick's Driving School in Mishawaka has been helping drivers of all ages gain the skills they need for a lifetime of safe driving. With experienced, patient instructors, including our very own Pat King, and flexible scheduling options, Frick's makes learning to drive easy and stress-free. Whether you're a first-time driver or need a refresher like our own Ron Hecklinski, Frick's has you covered. Plus, for just $65, they offer the state driving exam in-house. No need to go anywhere else. Visit fricksdrivered.com or you can call 574-256-0650 to get started today. Back again with more Coach's Corner. Shout out, as always, to the Black Sedan Band, now in their... Well, they've been with us since the start. We'll just say that. They do travel, so if you're interested in booking a great cover band, go to blacksedanband.com or you can check them out on YouTube after you're done watching us, of course. Now here's more Heck and King.
Yeah, we are so happy to be back tonight. And I know that interview ran a little longer, but when you have a great young coach who will converse with you and talk about his program like Eric Gaff just did, I think it's a lot of fun. And when I said it was a great impromptu coaches clinic, I was 100% serious because I think some coaches are really reluctant to talk about what they do. They don't want to give away, quote, secrets or whatever. But I thought Eric was really pretty straight up on why he does some things and what are some of the things he looks at, especially when the press. So I thought that was a really great interview. And
just think about some of the experiences he's had. I'm always interested to hear these guys that have gone overseas, whether it's Australia or Norway or Serbia or Turkey or wherever they've played, because it just, again, that opens up where, see, he was NAIA. He wasn't some
he wasn't a
Division
D1
I
guy.
player that missed out on the draft, with was with the Pacers for a while, got cut, so he goes overseas. He went straight to Europe and went, was in Norway, and he was in Australia and
Played 9 years. Yeah. Played 9 years. Was on the beach. Did not spar with any kangaroos, he said. But I mean, what a life, right?
Yeah, and grew up here in the area. He's an
Yeah.
Elkhart kid, went to Concord.
Yeah. Yeah. So hats off to Eric Gaff and good luck to the Huskies as they, head into January and February and then get ready for the tournament. What about some other high school polls here? And then we'll talk a little Indiana, Miami, and wrap it up a little bit.
Well,
because I tell you, what do you smell?
Pizza.
Yes, sir.
I can see pizza.
I can smell pizza. Let's get going on these polls for a second.
I was just looking, one of the things we were mentioning, the Mishawaka sectional, it's still 6 weeks away, but it's loaded this year with Penn, St. Joe, Riley, Adams, Michigan City, LaPorte, and Mishawaka. It's over at Mishawaka, so that's going to be a lot of fun for the boys. And what's interesting is the girls sectional is coming up here first of the month. So I think, matter of fact, girls drawing is coming up not this weekend, but maybe next Sunday is the draw for the girls sectional. But we were looking at some of the stuff that Indianapolis schools are still dominating the coaches poll. Fishers is still number one. They're undefeated at 12-0. They actually go over to Centerville, Ohio this weekend to play. With the weather that we have up north, it's really putting a kibosh on a lot of the schedules. It's like there were a lot of games tonight up in this area. The boys were playing Thursday and the girls were playing on Friday. Crown Point probably is the best team in the north. They're 10-0. They're number 2. Then you got Carmel, Pike. Now we just mentioned Silver Creek. They're 3A, and they've got them ranked 5th in the coaches poll.
They're 15-1 and lost in the Hall of Fame Classic to Crown Point.
Yeah, and your buddy. Team Mount Vernon, they're number 8. They've only lost 2.
Yeah, Joey Bradburn
doing really well.
Has Mr. Basketball and Luke Ertl. Next week we will have Joey and Luke Ertl on.
That sounds good.
Together, and we'll promo Mr. Basketball for him, and that'll be really cool to talk to Luke Ertl.
Up here in the north, Northridge is one of the highest rated teams here in our area. They're 10-1. Homestead's 9-2. Penn, St. Joe, and South Bend Riley. And we mentioned Riley was supposed to play tonight. It'll be interesting to see if they reschedule that Adams game tomorrow, because that'll really put them in a travel pinch. They're supposed to go to Evansville Saturday.
Yeah, that's a tough trip, man.
They've got a 1:30 ball game in Evansville. They play Evansville Wrights at 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon. Evansville Wrights is 5 and 6. And then that night they play Evansville Bossy and at 6 and 3, so they got 2 games in Evansville on Saturday.
Yeah, so I'm sure that they rescheduled that Adams game for another day.
I bet they move that to next week or the week after, or something like that. And Columbia City, we've talked about them last week when Chad was here. They're ranked 20th. So
yeah, and Drew Dixon took Columbia City out in a Christmas tournament with a 30-footer at the buzzer.
Yep.
Scored 30 points against Columbia City. High school basketball in January now. High school, I do a lot of the Crossroads Leagues games, the CCAC games at the college level. Now, conference play in January really kicks into high gear,
doesn't it?
And conference play in the NIC now really kicks in also because I believe St. Joe and Riley just played their first conference game last week.
Yeah, the NIC at the high school level, they've only played one game. They've only played one conference game. I think the NLC, the Northern Lakes, has played 2. So it's still really early in the conference season for the high schools up here in the north. But we've been here 90 minutes. We haven't talked about IU football yet.
Yeah, so
we've got a ball game coming up, not this
Monday
weekend,
night.
but next weekend, right?
No. I mean, this Monday. This Monday, the Bears play Sunday, and the national championship game is on Monday.
Is that right?
That is right. That is right.
Okay.
And
so I'm getting my Mondays mixed up.
We're going to see Kurt Signetti play against Miami. I mean, a lot of talk when Miami edged Notre Dame out of the playoffs was on Miami, but I never really felt that. I felt it was Alabama.
I did too.
And so I didn't begrudge Miami winning, and I think it's really cool that Coach Cristobal is winning, and it's in the national championship game. Carson Beck came over from from Georgia.
And he's been in 2 championship games already at Georgia.
Yeah, so I
So
think
this is his 3rd.
I think it's going to be a good football game, but I will say this much. I think Notre Dame's lines, both the defensive lines and the offensive lines, are so good. And I've done some studying on Kurt Signetti, and one of the things that it becomes very paramount for him when he has a team and he's coaching is the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
And he hit a home run last year with the quarterback they had last year. They brought in for a year.
Right.
And he hit a home run with Fernando Mendoza this year, who is a Heisman winner.
Right.
So how much better can you get at QB?
And I think this coming year, if you remember, I believe the TCU quarterback is supposed to be their quarterback next year. So they've the portal is open. IU's been busy as Notre Dame, but I tell you, the game's in Miami at Hard Rock, and I saw some of the prices. I mean, you're looking at $2,000 and $3,000 for a ticket.
I'm telling you what I'm looking at. If you don't jump on that pizza sitting over there right in front of me, I'm going to take it.
You're going to eat it?
Pizza's amazing. The pizza at Corby's is literally amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a great game. I want so bad for Kurt Signetti and the Hoosiers to win. How is that for our state of Indiana? And look at this. 1976, we win the national championship with an undefeated team.
Mm-hmm. What if?
2026, we're going to win a national championship with an undefeated team.
50 years later.
And how many teams in football have won the national championship undefeated?
Not very many. Not very many.
I said
I don't.
When I ask Pat this question,
Pat does not know.
Pat does not know. But anyway, we want to thank you for tuning in. Sports at this time of the year is great. Last Sunday, the Bulls won, the Bears won, the Blackhawks won, all on one day, and they all played in Chicago. Now, the third quarter of the Bears game, across the ticker it comes. Alex Bregman, the great third baseman who played for the Houston Astros and who signed with the Boston Red Sox, now signed with the Chicago Cubs. A 5-year, $175 million deal. He's a gamer. He's a grinder. He will be our new third baseman. The Cubs traded for a pitcher, Edwin Cabrera from the Marlins, who is a number one. So pitchers and catchers, less than 30 days.
Coming up.
Are you kidding me?
We need to get Terry Turner on and have him get us updated on some baseball stuff.
Well, no, forget Terry Turner. We need to get Rich Donnelly on, man. MLB. Terry's going to tell us about Daleville.
Well,
he's going to tell you about Daleville.
Okay, who's his? Is he a Reds fan or is he a Cubs fan?
He's a Reds fan, and so the Reds, in the immortal words of Jumpin' Johnny Wilson.
So.
Reds,
Terry, you're here, and you thought he was your friend.
Terry, I love Terry.
You guys played cards together.
I love Terry, but the Reds can't bust a grape. That's just the way, because they ain't spending any money. The word on the street was they were going to try and sign Kyle Schwarber because Schwarber's from Middletown, which is close to Cincinnati.
Right.
And when it came down to pony up some cash, they couldn't do it.
Terry, I just want you to know, Terry, I tried to get you on the show.
We will get you on the show. We'll get you on the show when we want to talk high school baseball. Right now, we want to talk Major League Baseball. In April and May, we'll talk high school baseball with the great Terry Turner. He's won 2 state championships.
There you go.
At Daleville.
Daleville.
Man. Yeah, there you go.
Let's get out of here.
Get out of here. Love you guys.
Emo Fake.
Absolute best, man.
Round 2.
Let's go eat some pizza. Peace.
See you guys next week.